Hey everyone, Cooper is here. He is sleeping right now and he is 5 days old today, which is just completely crazy to me that he's already 5 days old. Um, I just wanted to go ahead and put up a quick update. Um, I'm probably just going to title this Cooper is Here because I will talk about um, how, my birth story and that kind of stuff, but it's not going to be very long because I had a scheduled C-section and that is what ended up happening. He didn't come before the C-section. So there's not like a whole lot of details for me to get into about everything. Um, but basically, my husband and I went to the hospital on October 19th in the morning, like we were supposed to, checked in and everything. I had been having like Braxton Hicks contractions and stuff quite a bit, but not the real deal, obviously. I was not in active labor or anything. And so they just went through all their procedures and everything. I answered 1,000,001 questions. It was definitely very different, just going into that. And they actually had me walk to the operating room, which is interesting. Because, they had me in my gown that had to be completely open in the back and I'm completely naked underneath because I have to be for the C-section. And so they like wrapped a blanket around me and had me walk down the hallway, I don't know, into the room. And then they gave me my epidural in the back for numbing me. And that took a really long time, actually. It was very uncomfortable and it took a long time. Along with the IV, I had never been told that I have tiny veins before, but everybody there was like, your veins are so tiny. And a couple of people like blew out my veins trying to get blood and stuff, so that was not fun. And but everything went pretty smoothly. Then, they started the surgery and everything. Chris was by my side and Cooper was born. Everything went pretty well. I guess when they pulled him out, it tore something in me a little bit. And so they had to put a couple little stitches in, but she said it wasn't a big deal and everything is good and all of that. And I have been healing really well. I am sore. I am exhausted, but that is all to be expected. Yeah, so we got to meet Cooper and it's just so exciting to see your baby for the first time. He is such a sweetheart. He has a full head of dark hair and it's thick and long. And then he also has this awesome little birthmark in the back of his head. My husband has one of these, a hair birthmark. His is the opposite colors though, because he has blonde hair, so his birthmark is brown. And Cooper has a bright blonde patch of hair in the back for his birthmark against his dark hair. So I thought that was really neat. I'll show him sleeping in a little bit, but I will, show him more in another video, obviously. Right now, I am breastfeeding, and so that is taking up a lot of time. He breastfeeds for a really long time. Hold on, I'm going to check on my hot dogs that I have on the stove because I don't want them to burn. But so he breastfeeds for a really long time. I've had quite a few sessions where he'll feed for like 2 hours at a time. Like it'll kind of be like he'll start to fall asleep and so then I'll have to like wake him up and I'll try and burp him and stuff, and then he won't like just go right back to sleep. He wants to eat more and he'll just keep eating and eating and eating. And so that has been taking up a lot of my time just trying to get the breastfeeding established. We also had something we found out in the hospital. Breastfeeding seemed to be going really well and I was really happy about it. And then all of a sudden my nipples started hurting really bad. They had been hurting a little bit, but nothing extreme. And then all of a sudden I was having like really intense pain. And anytime he would feed off of me, it hurt so bad. And so I kept just trying to readjust him. And it got to the point where he would not let me readjust him. If I would not let him feed, if I would not let him latch the way that he wanted to, he would not eat at all. And he would just scream and scream and scream and scream. And so I called in the lactation specialist and everything. I had multiple lactation specialists and nurses come in over the period of like 4 or 5 hours. They were trying to help me be able to nurse him. And at this point I was getting like really like, he needs food, because, with a C-section, your milk comes in later, a day later than if you have a natural birth. And they had not had me supplementing with anything. He was just feeding off of me constantly. And so I knew like he was hungry and he needed to eat, and it was very emotional. But so basically, not to go into a lot of detail, it was really, really hard. I cried, and it was very emotionally hard on me because I couldn't figure out, like, he just would not eat off of me without hurting me. And so finally, one of the lactation specialists suggested that she thought he might have a tongue tie. And unfortunately, nobody in the hospital could tell me that for sure, and nobody could fix it in the hospital. And so we went to giving him some formula out of a syringe. And that's how we were feeding him. I did try a bottle. They had advised me no bottle, no pacifier. But I did try a bottle, and he just it went like everywhere. And he didn't take a pacifier well. And so at that point, I was pretty well convinced that it was something with his tongue, because he couldn't latch right to nurse, and he couldn't even drink out of a bottle properly, and he couldn't keep a pacifier in his mouth. But nobody could help me there, unfortunately. So we had to wait until we got out of the hospital to be able to get him an appointment the next day. Thankfully, we were able to. We ran all around town to different offices, finally got the procedure done and everything. And so it was that he had a tongue tie. That is fixed now, which is great. I've been using a nipple shield to breastfeed because he did tear up my nipples pretty good. And that has been working really well. But like I said, he nurses for really, really long periods of time. So it has been very, very draining on me. There's a lot of times where he feeds for so long that I am just I'm falling asleep as he's feeding off of me. Just praying that he'll be done soon, because it's exhausting to be feeding all the time. And I'm also pumping a lot as well to try and get my supply up as much as possible, and also to just have some on hand for being able to bottle feed my breast milk as well. Because one thing is that he sleeps quite a bit during the day, but he eats pretty much all night long. He is up a lot during the night, and I am feeding him constantly. So I'm exhausted. And I'm just praying that breastfeeding will go well, that I'll be able to keep up with it. At this point, it's emotional for me. It's hard. If I end up going to formula, it will be really, really hard on me, like it was with my others when that time came. But I don't know. I'm just trying my best to stay as positive as I can, do the best that I can, and I'm just trying to just be grateful for every day that goes by that I am able to exclusively breastfeed him, and all of that. He has lost weight. He was born at 8 pounds 10 ounces, and then the last time that he was weighed, he was 7 pounds 14.6 ounces, I think. So he's lost about 8% of his body weight. That was before we got the tongue tie fixed. Now the tongue tie has been fixed. So I'm hoping that he has started to gain. We will have an appointment early next week to check on his weight and to just have a consultation with another lactation specialist. So hopefully that will all go well. I will keep updated on that. And yeah, that's really what's been going on. I've just been trying to get breastfeeding in order, and we're so happy that he's here. Like I said, I'll show him good in a video soon. And right now he's sleeping, so I'll try and get a little shot of him. There he is, little Cooper, 5 days old, just sleeping away. Alright, well that's going to be it for this video, and I will update again soon. Bye!